For over 2 centuries, Oak Island has haunted the dreams of treasure hunters and historians alike. Its windswept shores have witnessed the rise and fall of countless expeditions, each lured by whispers of unimaginable riches and ancient secrets. Legends from every corner of the globe have been woven into its soil, stories of pirate gold, the lost jewels of Marie Antoinette, and even the fabled Holy Grail. Each tale, more fantastic than the last, has fueled a relentless obsession. The first shovels broke ground in 1795. Since then, generations have come and gone, engineers, dreamers, and fortune seekers, each leaving behind broken tools, shattered hopes, and new mysteries. The air, thick with the salty tang of the North Atlantic, carried a heavier burden, the weight of centuries of failure. Every shovelful of earth, every borehole drilled into the island's stubborn clay, had promised so much yet delivered so little. Storms have battered the island, and fortunes have been lost to its shifting sands. The world has watched transfixed as each new generation tried and failed to break the island's curse. They had followed the clues left by those who came before. They had chased shadows down the legendary money pit. They had invested fortunes, financial, emotional, into this small patch of land off the coast of Nova Scotia. Yet the island held its secrets with a cold, unyielding grip. It pushed them back with a force that felt almost personal, almost malevolent. It was a pattern of inexplicable and often dangerous setbacks. This pattern had a name, whispered among the team: the Curse. For the Fellowship, the quest was never just about gold. It was about legacy, about proving that the impossible could be achieved. Each setback only deepened their resolve and their heartbreak. The decision to halt all major digging operations was a painful one. The island seemed to breathe a sigh of relief as the heavy machinery fell silent. The team gathered in the war room one last time, maps and charts mocking them with unanswered questions. But as the dust settled, a sense of unfinished destiny lingered in the air. The world's greatest mystery was not yet solved. The island, silent and watchful, seemed to wait for the next chapter. They had given everything to this quest. They had honored the island's history. They had respected its dangers. They had pursued its truth with a passion that bordered on obsession. And so, as the sun set on another failed season, the legend of Oak Island only grew, its secrets waiting, as they always have, for those bold enough to seek them. In the quiet that followed their surrender, the Fellowship found themselves adrift. No longer explorers of Earth, but of meaning. The silence was heavy, yet within it, a new determination began to spark. With the pressure of digging gone, the team's focus shifted inward. They pored over years of seismic data, electromagnetic readings, and cryptic field notes, searching for patterns they had missed. The war room, once a command center for excavation, became a laboratory of ideas. Maps and charts gave way to digital models and animated simulations.
We realized we were no longer treasure hunters, an expert later recalled. We had become detectives, scientists chasing the unknown.
They replayed the strange metallic sounds from deep underground, scrutinized the erratic energy spikes, and debated late into the night. The mood was tense, but hope flickered in every theory. Old film reels and faded photographs were digitized, revealing a pattern: equipment failures, sudden power surges, and inexplicable malfunctions, too frequent to be mere coincidence.
We started to wonder, what if the so-called curse was engineered? What if it was a defense system, not a legend?
The idea was radical, but evidence mounted. Seismic vibrations, electromagnetic pulses, and chemical traces. Each pointed to technology, not superstition. Around the world, legends of hidden treasures and mysterious defenses echoed Oak Island's story. From the vaults of Rennes-le-Château to the lost tombs of Egypt, the pattern was hauntingly familiar. The team's emotions ran high. Some felt awe, others fear. The implications were staggering. The island itself might be the treasure, a machine, a message, or a warning. They catalogued every anomaly: strange dyes in Smith's Cove, layers of oak logs, and the triangle of stones. Each clue was a piece of a vast, hidden mechanism.
If this is a security system, the physicist said, then somewhere there must be a control room, and every system has a way in.
The room fell silent. The weight of possibility pressed on every heart. For the first time, the team felt they were on the verge of something far greater than gold. They began assembling a new team, not of diggers, but of physicists, engineers, and data scientists. The hunt was no longer for treasure, but for understanding. The curse was recast, not as a hex but as a phenomenon to be observed, measured, and ultimately solved. This shift in perspective changed everything. The team stood at the threshold of a new theory, one that would reframe 2 centuries of mystery in the brilliant light of science. The team gathered at dawn, tension etched on every face. Cameras rolled as the lead physicist outlined the plan. Avoid all metallic tools, ground every piece of equipment, and monitor for electromagnetic spikes. A digital overlay displayed the triangle of beach stones, highlighting the geometric center. The engineer explained how previous disasters aligned perfectly with this point, just as similar patterns had been found at ancient sites in Egypt and Peru. With slow, deliberate movements, the team began the excavation. Every handful of sand was scanned and logged. The tension was palpable. One wrong move could trigger the ancient defenses. The physicist's voice, calm but urgent, echoed through the comms. "We're detecting a faint energy field. Hold position." The team froze, eyes wide, as instruments flickered with blue light. After recalibrating, they pressed on. Hours passed. Suddenly, a trowel struck something hard, a fused glass-like layer, shimmering with metallic hues. The engineer compared it to obsidian, but with properties never seen before. With painstaking care, they breached the layer. A rush of cold air escaped. Beneath was a void, a hollow space perfectly cubic. The team exchanged stunned glances, realizing they were the first humans to see this in centuries. They lowered a light into the darkness. The beam revealed a flawless, matte black cube, its surface absorbing all light, as if a piece of the night sky had been buried in the earth. As the light moved, faint geometric patterns glowed across the surface. A soft blue pulse began to throb, matching the rhythm of the team's own heartbeats. Suddenly a seam appeared, almost invisible, then widened into a doorway. The panel slid open with a soundless, frictionless motion. The team hesitated, breath held, before stepping inside. Inside, their lights revealed a chamber that defied all known architecture. Walls, floor, and ceiling formed from a single continuous black surface. In the center, suspended in midair, was the source of the low hum. It was a perfect sphere, glowing softly, floating with no visible support. The physicist whispered, "This changes everything." The world would soon know. Oak Island's greatest secret was not gold, but knowledge. The days after the discovery were a blur of secrecy, awe, and relentless scientific inquiry. The artifact was moved to a secure laboratory, its presence known only to a handful of trusted experts. A select group of the world's top physicists, material scientists, and engineers arrived under a total media blackout. Their faces betrayed a mix of disbelief and excitement as they prepared to study the impossible. The artifact defied every known law of physics. Spectrometers failed, its surface shimmered with a light that seemed to come from nowhere, and its composition was unlike anything on the periodic table.
"We are witnessing a material state that should not exist," explained Dr. Patel, a Nobel laureate in condensed matter physics. "It is as if light itself has been frozen and shaped by an intelligence far beyond our own."
When gently touched, the sphere's surface felt warm and smooth, yet yielded like dense liquid, rippling with light before reforming. It was more akin to solidified energy than any known matter. The artifact existed in a pocket of warped space-time, generating its own gravitational field. Instruments recorded impossible readings, mass without weight, energy without heat. It was simultaneously a power source, a computer, and a communications device, all in one elegant, incomprehensible package. The patterns shifting within its core were a visual language, data processing on a scale that dwarfed the world's supercomputers.
"This is not just a machine," said Dr. Patel. "It is a Rosetta Stone for a new kind of physics. It could change everything we know about energy, computation, and the universe itself."
The team's theory was quickly confirmed. The sphere was the central processor and power core for a vast machine that permeated the entire island, an ancient technology hidden in plain sight. News of the discovery leaked and the world's media descended on Oak Island. The press conference was broadcast live to millions, speculation running wild. On the stage sat not just the Lagina brothers and their team, but a panel of Nobel laureates in physics and chemistry. The world watched, breathless. The lead scientists spoke not of the end of a quest, but of the beginning of a new era. The artifact's potential was compared to the Rosetta Stone, the Antikythera mechanism, and the Library of Alexandria, except this time, the knowledge was intact.
"It is a functioning piece of technology from the future."
The data was irrefutable. Spectrographic analyses showed nothing. Energy readings defied comprehension. The artifact's energy potential could power the planet, cleanly, forever. An international scientific trust was formed, dedicated to studying the artifact for the benefit of all humankind. The world stood at the threshold of a new age, united by wonder and hope. News of the Oak Island artifact spread like wildfire. Around the world, headlines blazed with the story, a discovery that would rewrite the history of human civilization. In classrooms, museums, and living rooms, people watched in awe as the impossible became real. Archaeologists hailed the find as the greatest of the century. Ancient mysteries, once dismissed as legend, were re-examined in the light of new evidence. The artifact's technology challenged everything we thought we knew about the past. On television, renowned experts debated the artifact's origins. Some called it a message from a lost civilization, others a bridge to the future. The world's leading physicists and historians gathered for urgent conferences, their faces lit with wonder and disbelief. Popular culture exploded with fascination. Artists, filmmakers, and writers drew inspiration from the Oak Island revelation. The artifact appeared in comics, documentaries, and even children's books, igniting imaginations everywhere. In the war room, the Oak Island team watched the world react. Tears flowed freely, of joy, relief, and pride. Their decades of struggle had changed the course of history. The legacy of Oak Island was no longer just a legend, it was a beacon for the future. The artifact's power and promise brought hope and questions. Who would safeguard this technology? The team called for an international trust, pledging the discovery to all humankind, not to any one nation or corporation. Around the globe, young minds were inspired. Schools launched new programs in science and history. A new generation dreamed of discovery, emboldened by the story of Oak Island and the fellowship that never gave up. The legend of Oak Island joined the ranks of the world's greatest treasure stories. But this was no myth. The real treasure was knowledge, perseverance, and the courage to seek the unknown. As the sun set over Oak Island, the world looked on with hope and suspense. The mystery was solved, but the future was unwritten. The journey had only just begun. Please subscribe to our channel History Documentary Hub for more insightful videos and intriguing content.